Hey, what's going on everyone? Today's going to be a pretty fun video. We are going to do a range test on the Hanevear H100 Dual Motor Ebike. And this has been a very popular video on my channel lately with almost 70,000 views in the past month. And a few of you that used my link to purchase it, I really want to thank you. And if you're interested in purchasing this bike after watching this video, actually I recommend you going and watching my initial review video first to make sure you see all the details, specs, features, and how it performed in that. And after watching that and this video, if you feel like that this is the bike for you, then please consider using the link down below in the description. It'll be an affiliate link and I will receive a small commission, but that's what helps me keep creating this content for all of you. So thanks in advance, and let's get into this range test. So today we're going to do mostly just throttle only. I'm going to ride it out through the country, up and down hills, and just where I ride around my home whenever I'm just out joyriding. And for a little bit of comparison, this bike is dual motor and has a 16 amp hour battery. And just as a comparison, on my electric XP a few years back, I did some range tests on that, and it got around normally like 18 to 20 miles riding around home. But on the bike trail on that same 10.4 amp hour battery, I got somewhere around 37 or 38 miles. I also made a video on that, so make sure you check it out. It was a few years ago, but there was a huge difference there from 18 miles to around 20 miles around home going up and down hills, and 37 miles on the bike trail. So that's why I typically don't like to make range test videos, because there's going to be a multiple different factors of how much range you can get, from your tire pressure to the size of the rider to how much you pedal or throttle, how much you start and stop, the hills that you go up, the terrain that you ride on, whether it be pavement or grass, loose gravel like the bike trail. So many different factors, and that's why it's hard for me to answer how far can you get on a battery. Typically, the lower the wattage of the bike and the slower it is and the bigger the battery you have, the further you're going to go. The more power you have, the more amps the controller is putting out, and the size of the motors is going to all play a factor in how much range you're going to get. You're going to get less range if you ride harder and faster. But with that being said, we're going to pretty much try to just do mostly throttle on this whole ride, like I said, and see how it does. But overall, this has been a brand new company out. This is the only bike that they sell to date, so I can't vouch for how long they're going to be in business or if they're going to come out with some other models. But I've really been enjoying this bike, especially for the $1,200 price point after using the coupon that I'll put down below. In my honest opinion, it's a great value for this bike. So let's see what kind of range we get out of this today. I'm expecting somewhere between 30 to 40 miles. I'm going to stay in dual motor mode, and a lot of people say that if you're in dual motor mode, you're going to use a lot more power than single motor mode. I don't honestly feel like that's going to be 100% true. You're going to be putting more power into that single motor to go just as fast as you would, or just as much power as you would if you were using dual motors but splitting that power by two, if that makes sense. I mean, yes, you'll probably use a little bit more, and it honestly is all going to depend on the bike and the controller as well. But to be honest, I'll probably always leave this in dual motor mode, because it's going to make it a little bit easier on the motors themselves, especially going up these hills. But let me know your opinion down below, what you think, and if you think that dual motors is going to use a lot more power than single motor mode. So one thing about the display on this bike, it really doesn't tell you the voltage of the battery. There's just on the display, it just shows you 5 bars of energy. Right now under load, I'm down to 2 bars, but if I shut the bike off and turn it back on, those would probably go up. That's how a lot of bikes work, because it registers under load and holds that setting. So that's why sometimes when you turn your bike off and turn it back on, it looks like it has more power. Now, some bikes do that, some bikes don't, and when they don't, you'll see the battery level fluctuate down and up as you use the throttle and let off the throttle. So it's just different ways that it displays your power. I really wish it would have showed you the voltage. It would have been a little bit more accurate and easier for me to tell you how much battery life I have left throughout this ride. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to get this whole test done today, because I'm about 8 miles, maybe 9 miles into it right now. So we'll see. Maybe I will, maybe it'll die early, or maybe it'll last longer than expected and I'll have to continue it another day. But we'll find out. But listen to how quiet those motors are. I said that in my initial review. This is full power and very, very quiet. Almost can't even hear them. And a couple weeks ago, my son shoots sporting clays, and we took this bike to Ohio and rode around there instead of renting a golf cart, because I think the golf cart rentals were like, I want to say 60 or 70 bucks or something for the day. So I just took this out, threw some electric pannier bags on here and another bag on the back, loaded up all the ammo and that, and rode around, was able to carry that with our lunch, water bottles, everything we needed, so I didn't have to carry it on my back. Although I should have took 2 bikes because my wife walked. She didn't mind too much. It was level ground, rode about 2 miles that day for that, but definitely nice to have. Saved me like 60 or 70 bucks. But I took the dual motor one because I wasn't sure what to expect, how the terrain was, if there was going to be any hills or anything. And this one does tend to pull you up the hills quite easier than a single hub motor bike. And this has dual 750 watt hub motors in it, but check out that initial review to see all the specs and features and performance. Right now I'm cruising at around 25, 26 miles an hour. My average has been 23.7 so far on this trip, has been my average mile per hour, and that's gonna go up or down depending on how fast you ride. I typically don't ride full throttle all the time. I'm just doing it for this test. So not going to be a whole lot of pedaling, maybe slightly up 1 or 2 hills, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. This bike does cruise pretty good. 25 miles an hour right now. So I stopped here to take a little break. So far, 10.9 miles, 10.1 on GPS, and it shows 2 battery bars here. Not sure if you can see that. I'm going to turn the bike off and turn it back on. And what's really nice about this one is it'll actually hold your trip. Some bikes like the electric, when you turn it off, turn it back on, it actually resets the trip, and I kind of hate that. I like that the bike holds your trip. So yeah, now you can see I got full battery bars. So it's gonna maintain whatever it was when you were last under load until you shut the bike off and turn it back on. But now it's showing full battery. So let's get back to it. And I did kind of mess up a little bit. I didn't put a bar end mirror on this bike before I left. Typically, I hate riding these backcountry roads without a mirror because you don't know what's coming up behind you. Half the time you can't hear cars, and then they're waiting to get around you. And I'm always looking over my shoulder to see what's coming. But if you're interested in any accessories, all the ones I use, like bar end mirrors, bags, battery bags like I have on the back here, this front bag is no longer available, which that was an awesome deal. If you guys follow my YouTube channel and you have notifications enabled, I posted a link on my community page when that front bag was like $8. I think I bought 3 or 4 of them, but it was a killer deal. And usually when I come across deals either on e-bikes or accessories, if it's a great deal, I'll post a link on my community page to let everybody know. That way you can get the deals as well. So make sure you follow along, have notifications enabled, have the bell checked, you know, all the good stuff, so you don't miss out on anything like that. And a lot of people ask how to find my links. A lot of people don't know how, but if you go down below my video, next to the title, there will be a little bar, a little arrow. You click on that, it'll open up the description, but typically it does not open the full description, and then you have to click more. It'll open up the rest of the description, and all my links will be down there below the video in that description. So please check it out, especially if you're ordering a bike. Please consider using the links to help support the channel. That way it keeps me creating this stuff for all of you. Comment down below too on this video, it really helps out. All right, so I've been traveling now for 23 miles according to GPS and 24.4 miles according to the odometer on the bike. And I somewhat feel like now the speed is dropped a little bit. I'm not able to easily maintain 26 miles an hour to 28 miles an hour anymore. It dropped to around 20 to 24 miles an hour, depending on if it's level or a little bit incline here. And I've pretty much been, up until this point, just full throttle. Now I'm starting to just pedal slightly up some of these hills. And one thing I did notice is that the odometer and speedometer seemed like it was a little bit off on the bike compared to the GPS. So I went into the P04 setting and changed the tire size from 24 to 22 inches, and it seems like the odometer and the speedometer now is fairly accurate. So I'm probably going to leave it set at 22 from now on and just continue to monitor it. But in the last 3 miles, it's been almost right on. So I'm going to leave it set at that. So I don't know, we'll go off the GPS mileage today for how far we went. And like I said, so far 23.3 miles. And down to 1 battery bar under load. It is not flashing yet. So we'll see if we can get to 30 miles or not. And again, a 10.4 amp hour battery on a single 500 watt motor bike would get me around 18 miles or so riding around home like this. And I'm already well past that with a dual 750 watt motor bike, 16 amp hour battery. Now, just using full throttle, I was maintaining typically around 26 miles an hour pretty easily. And at that speed, you do run out of pedal and it's hard to put effort in with the gearing that's on this bike. So I highly recommend changing that freewheel in the rear to an 11 to 28 freewheel at least. And then you will be able to maintain pressure on the pedals at higher speeds, which is what I prefer, and will actually get you more mileage because you're giving it just a little bit of your own effort, which will go a long way. But it's definitely limiting a little bit of my power now. It's still pulling me pretty good and not flashing on the battery bars or anything, but we're gonna go until it pretty much cuts power and see how much more we can get out of this. See if I can actually make it all the way back home, because I got some big hills to go up. So we'll see how it does going up those hills with a little bit of limited power. But so far, 24 miles. And I'll put links down below to a freewheel, and I'll probably be changing this one out in the future because I'm really enjoying this bike. So I'm probably gonna upgrade that freewheel to better suit me. So if you want to see a video on that, I don't know, maybe leave it in the comments. Maybe I'll make another tutorial on that one. But if not, check out my other 2 videos where I showed how to change it on those bikes. It should be pretty similar on this one. But I'll leave the link to the special tool you need down in the description below. And rolling here at 29 miles an hour. This is downhill. So still getting up pretty good with this limited battery power here, but of course that's downhill. But thanks for watching, everyone. And if you found this video enjoyable, I actually had fun making this video, just out enjoying the ride, not having to worry about specs and so much about features, and just out here enjoying life today. So beautiful weather, rain this morning, supposed to rain again here in the evening, but just love getting out. Love enjoying nature like this and traveling around on streets that sometimes I've never even been on. So that's what I love about e-bikes, just getting out and enjoying life. All right, so now we're gonna see how fast throttle gets us after 25.6 miles here. Definitely cut down on speed here a little bit. I'm going 23 miles per hour, 21, about 22 right now. And like I said, in this area here, I've been up and down hills all day. Definitely not level ground whatsoever here. If I was on the bike trail, it would probably, I would imagine, at least get double this. A couple weeks ago when we were on that trip for the sporting clays, I rode 2 miles and only used 1 volt of the battery, but that was just low speed travel around the course. And like I said, it's all going to depend a lot on how fast you're driving, how much you're starting and stopping, the surge when you're pulling out. I mean, a lot of different factors when you factor in range and what you will get out of an e-bike. And I'm about 175 pounds, plus I have another battery here on the back for when this one dies, which I can't remember exactly how heavy the battery is, but it's probably at least 10 pounds or so. I've got 2 bottles of water up here, so that's a little bit of weight there. So I would imagine I'm about, I don't know, probably carrying somewhere around 190 pounds here on this test overall. And full throttle here, 18 miles an hour here. I'm at 26.1 miles right now. So you can see the speed definitely cut down a good bit. And the battery light just started flashing. So 26.2 miles. Let's see if I can show you this here. We're gonna keep going. I typically don't run my batteries this low. It's really not good for it. Let's let this car go. they just cut that truck off. Man, people are nuts. So battery bar is definitely flashing now. Power's cut way down. Don't know if you can see it or not. 26.4 miles on GPS. That's showing 27.8. But remember, the odometer was a little bit off. I think it's more accurate now, being set at 22 inches. So let's just keep going here and see if we can finish out at least till 27 miles. All right, guys, she's dead. That's all she's got. Battery light is flashing there. You can see it right there. 28.2 miles according to this, and 26.8 miles according to GPS. So honestly, in my opinion, that's not too bad. I mean, I rode further today than I normally ride. Would have been nice to see a little bit bigger battery in this bike, but for 1,200 bucks, I mean, you can't beat it. Maybe in the future they can upgrade, make a 20 amp hour battery for this, or maybe you can get one for it, maybe aftermarket, I don't know. I don't know exactly which ones work. I did get a second battery from them directly because I knew it would help me out on this test whenever this one died. But going up all these hills, full speed, almost no pedaling at all. Barely pedaled up a couple slight hills just because it was a main road and I wanted to get up it maybe slightly a little bit quicker, which I barely put any effort in. But overall, 26.8 miles. There you have it. If you're interested in it, go check out the other full review video to see all about this bike, and I will see you all around on the next one. And stick around because I got probably one of the hottest bikes on the market right now coming that's going to be one of the fastest single hub motor bikes out there to date. So stick around if you're interested in seeing that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this content to see more like it. And that battery is slightly warm. And guys, when your battery is warm like that, you don't want to charge it up if it's warm. Let it cool down, let it rest for a while. So when you get back home off your ride, if you just put your battery through a huge strain like this, let it sit for an hour or two or till it cools down before you charge it, and it will make your battery last a lot longer, because heat's one of the main factors that will kill a battery. Oh yeah, back in business.